Hello, I'm Felicity and I'm a psychotherapist and clinical supervisor with a specialism in helping teams have some of the most difficult conversations with the people that we serve. So, for example, I rolled out collaboration without collusion training across the whole of children's services in Southwark. And that's a training in teaching evidence-based psychological tools and techniques to help teams have some of those difficult conversations, but actually use those as catalysts towards really transformative growth in the people that they serve. So lots of people ask me, Felicity, if I'm working with people who might have really, really deep entrenched mistrust of the services that I'm providing, how can I build an effective relationship? And also, how can I respond when in those moments, if I feel like the person's not being completely honest and open with me? I've got 3 tips for that. The first tip is always assume a dignified reason. So rather than coming in being super critical immediately, come back and speak to your team, your supervisor, your manager, to have a think about, if I was in this person's shoes, what might be some really good reasons the person might have for feeling wary about telling me the whole truth. You know, if I'm a housing worker, are they worried they might lose their housing? If they're using drugs, are they worried that if I find that out, I'm going to really judge them or I'm going to stop their script? Or, for example, if I'm a children and family social worker, am I worried that this person might take my kids off me? If you can ground yourself in that, to come and have a conversation in a way that feels authentic and honouring, and make it much more likely that the person will feel open to having an honest conversation with you. The second tip is stay in hypothesis. That person may be lying to you, but they may not be lying to you. There might be other things going on that you're not privy to. The third tip I have is use contracting and licensing. For example, if I'm a children and family social worker going in to see Janice, and Janice might be feeling really worried, maybe she's had children's services contact before, I might say something along the lines of, "Hi Janice, it's lovely to meet you, and I'm so aware that for lots of people, when they come into contact with people who carry this badge or look like me, or have this lanyard, that they might have this fear, might be coming in to judge you or make things worse for you." So the first thing that I want to say to you is, like, my whole job is absolutely will be to look out for what's strong and build on that, as well as supporting families with like the stuff that people might be finding tricky. And secondly, that if you ever feel like I'm not hearing your voice, and I'm not honouring the wisdom that you bring, I'd love you to pick that up with me and let me know. We won't always agree on this wonderful journey of life, but that doesn't mean to say that I shouldn't absolutely honour and listen to you, just as I listen to your children, and just as I really listen to your network. Your voice really matters here. And the next thing that I must say as well is that sometimes when people see coming through the door someone with this lanyard, they might think, oh gosh, just don't feel comfortable to tell Felicity what's really going on. What will she do that with that information? But what people might not realise is that actually our worries about risk go up, not down, when people stop being honest with us. Because if we can't have conversations in which we really know what's happening, that makes us worry much more. So with that in mind, I kind of wondered if it might be useful to maybe us make a little pledge to each other here. And my thing is, maybe, like, even if I'm worried that you might not like what I'm going to say, I promise that as long as it doesn't like increase a risk to your wonderful child or something like that, but if it's a difficult conversation, I will have that, and I will listen to your views in that. How does that sound? And then equally, for you, that even if you're worried that I might not like something that you say, or that I might, have worries about that I will share honestly with you what my thoughts are on that, so you're not left in the dark. How does that sound? So we've made that contract for honesty, both for me to share something that she might not like and for her to share something that I might not like. And the pledge that we make to each other in that is that we will come back and have a conversation about that. So that's my tip. The first thing is we honour the reason. The second thing is that we don't assume lying, we stay in hypothesis. The third thing is we contract for honesty. And then that means if stuff comes up along the way and I say, oh, hang on a second, Janice, we've had like 4 police call outs and I know that you said everything was fine, but we've had all those call outs to the address. And I might say, Janice, it's sort of bringing me back to that pledge that we made to each other. And I really appreciate that sometimes it can feel really difficult to be really honest and open about what's going on when you're worried about how I'm going to respond. But how about if we could try and find that pledge together today? Then I will share with you what I'm thinking. I won't, we'll work that through together. How would that be? And equally, if I have to bring Janice a challenge, I might say to her, Janice, I'm feeling a bit nervous about this conversation because I feel like it might be hard for you to hear, but I'm aware that I made that pledge to you that I will always try my best to be honest with you, unless to do that would raise a risk elsewhere. And so I would love it if we could make time today to sit down and have a conversation about something that's on my mind. So that's how you contract for honesty. I'm Felicity and I'm a trainer in collaboration without collusion, de-escalation, mental health awareness and others, suicide and self-harm. If you'd like to hear more, please get in touch.